hello, everybody. I'm on a wee bit later than normal. I had something going on. So, we're gonna have a shorter stream, maybe a chatty stream. It'll be for shits and giggles, hits and crits, and all that good schnaz. Yes. I've been talking with a good buddy of mine for quite a while, so we're gonna do it again. Yay! Let me finish off this monster, we'll be good to go. Surprise, surprise, surprise. I know where you keep your french fries. Dun dun dun. Hello, John. Hello. Hello, Jesse. Calling me a dork. How rude of you. How's it going? I just got done doing my collaboration video with Jay Cart, so it was fun. He'll be putting that up here in the next 48 hours. And then I will be releasing the unedited version, which will have a lot more commentary. I'm fairly positive of it. Joan from Ladies Fright. Hello. Lovely. How's it going? How's it going there, Wolf? I figured we could do some nerdy talk tonight, so maybe be a little bit shorter stream. We'll figure it out. Maybe I'll hop into WoW later. Who the hell knows? You finished another movie? What movie did you finish? Which one? Do not leave me in suspense. That is rude. I just noticed that my D120 is sitting way too far back. I didn't like that. Some of my stuff got shifted because we were having conversations and I was showing little bits. Yeah, the collaboration was actually really fun. However, I feel like I got kicked in the balls way too many times during it. I was definitely feeling my age, that's for sure. And the unfortunate thing is when I do collaboration videos with people, my camera, it decides to flip. I don't like that. So, Dances with Wolves, that is a great fucking film. Oh my god, is that so good. So good. But then again, I like westerns anyways, and it is technically considered to be a western. And it's Kevin Costner, so most of his stuff is quite good. That's just my opinion. You don't have to agree with it. That's perfectly fine. Most of my opinions on films people don't enjoy anyways, so. But I am a huge western fan. You liked it? Yes. Good girl. Everyone should like Dances with Wolves, honestly. It is amazing. I just got a TikTok notification. Why did I just get a TikTok notification? It's from Tay. Of course it would be. As some of you guys did see on the Facebook post and the Discord, I will be helping out my buddy, my brother, Boogie, with a local food bank in his area, not my area, his area, and trying to assist with getting food out to kids, especially during the weekend times where some parents in struggling communities and struggling families aren't able to provide food all the time for their kids. It covers 11 different schools in his county, in his area. So that'll be starting on Monday. We will have a GoFundMe link for that. And then all the funds achieved during that time will go to buying the food for his team in this. He is the head captain of the Hunger Heroes. And basically the goal is just try to raise as much food and as fast as we can to help these families before summertime hits. because there will be summer school for some of these kids, and it's what we got to do. And I'm a huge supporter of that because I have been in many a situation where these programs have definitely helped us out. So you and Boogie are so nice. Boogie is definitely a great guy. He's helped me out a number of times. This was the very least I could do with everything he's done for me in my life. You forgot to mention you watched Sons of Katie Elder. I love John Wayne. I love Dean Martin. Sons of Katie Elder is a great, great film. I do think, however, which one was it? Rio Bravo, I think, was maybe slightly better. What's the other one I'm trying to think of now? El Dorado was quite good too, though. You love that? Yeah, so it's a 10-day thing, so I will be promoting that on my my streams come Monday. We'll have the link. There'll be a command. We'll have stuff going on for that. I've already got everything set up. There will be a progress bar so we can actually watch to see if we meet the goal that Boogie put down. Every dollar that we get towards this will just go to be buying the food products. And it's 2 different groups. So he's part of the Hunger Heroes, and the other one is the Lunchbox League, I think is what they're called. And the 2 different groups have different members, and they're all doing the same thing to acquire as much food by poundage as possible to then be distributed after it. So for them, it is a small little competition between the 2 groups, and the end goal is just to achieve as much food as we can to help struggling families and kids. And one way to do that is to create the GoFundMe, go through the process, take those funds, buy the food, which will help out Stepping Stones of Dunn County, which is the nonprofit organization that is basically fueling this. They run the food bank over in Dunn County, which is where he is, he lives in the city of Menominee, which is where everything's coming out of. And Stepping Stones of Dunn County has the food bank there. They have homeless shelters there, and they provide services to other people in need as well. So it's a small little way to give back, not just to friends and families out there, but it's also a good way to get back to Boogie for everything he's done for me in my life. How's it going there, Mouse? Awesome cause, thank you. And for me personally, like I said, there were times in my life where we had to use these things, so YouTube has done me dirty. I've stopped receiving notifications from you. I've heard that happen a few times, Andrew. You're not the first to tell me. Yeah, I've only been on for less than 10 minutes, so you're good. But next week, Monday is when that starts, and Tuesday, the day after, is the 23rd anniversary of my mother's passing. So this is kind of a way to do something good during a very bad time mentally for me and the family. So I'm kind of glad Boogie did bring this up to me, this food drive. So it kind of puts a brighter light during a sad time. So we're going to have as many collaboration streams as I can get next week going on. So hopefully we help him at least reach some form of a goal and get a few laughs out of it while we're at it. I appreciate that, Jesse. It'll be fun. I know it will. I'm trying to figure out where to put my drink. There's been a lot going on. I have not been able to keep my schedule this week, and I apologize for that. We've had so many things just flip-flopping and switching around. And usually we do WoW on a Friday, but since I was doing that collaboration thing with J-Cart for almost 2 hours, hour and a half, damn near 2 hours. I figure a short little chatty stream would be all right with people. My tank's almost running on empty, but not quite there yet. It's also really, really warm right now. It's like 75 degrees. Love using that energy to support others in need. Trying to. That's the end goal. The Yap twins. Yeah, he and I do talk quite a bit. But the thing about it is, the video he's going to do the editing on and releasing is going to be way, way shorter than the unedited thing, which is what I'm going to be sending out after his is up for a couple days. And you'll be like, oh my God, these guys don't shut up. But maybe if people like the reaction video and like the content and stuff like that, maybe he and I will try doing that a bit more frequently, at least once a month. Glad you can hang out for a bit tonight. Yeah, I figure if I can hang out for an hour, hour and a half or something like that, that would probably feel about right. It's definitely been one of those days where a lot of things have been brought to my attention, and haven't had enough outlets just yet to get stuff off my mind. And this is usually a good way to help get things off my mind, is to sit, chat, joke, and what have you. Because I do not practice what I preach. I keep a lot of things inside. Because I'm a big boy and I can handle it. Been doing it for many, many years. I just got to find my right outlet, and being with you people helps me out a great deal with that. So I very much thank you all for showing up. You bow to thee. Do not bow to me. Do not give me a bigger head than I already got. What's going on, Sarah? Very much appreciate you stopping on by. Yeah. If you guys want to talk movies, you guys want to talk food or music, fucking just let it out. If you guys want to vent, go for it. This is the time to do her. I do have to crack my window open a little bit, I think. It's nightfall now. Ooh, shit, did I lock my window? Yes, I locked it. That's why I can't open it. Oh, yeah. Whenever you try to open up your window, make sure it's unlocked first. Or let it out. The stuff that's going on in my life, no. I will not do that just because of... Oh, hi, Nix. Gotta let the cat in. Just because of the very sensitive nature of some of it, I can't. Not until things are dealt with, I can't. Yeah. You got 5 movies left on the Beagle list? Good lord. You don't really have to watch all the films on the list. It was just trying to give you like a broad amount. Because some of them are anime, some of them are Western, some of them are old, some of them are newer. Did anyone watch the Kevin Hart roast? I thought it was very funny. I did not. I was busy. Yeah. The best way to put this, Joan, for me and the stuff I go through in life, once things are dealt with, I'm more apt to talk about it because then I can put it into a better situation. So, what's the Beagle list? If someone asks me for music, songs, artists, or movies, I will provide them a list of things that I think they might enjoy. And that's what it is. That's all it was. Just a list of things that I thought she might enjoy. Which, so far, she has. Because apparently I'm a good judge sometimes. Hello, Mr. Prism. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So if someone asks me, what would be my favorite Western, I would tell them Tombstone. And I would say Tombstone for a number of reasons. One of the biggest reasons is because my namesake, Wyatt Earp, main character. But I would also say, watch the film Wyatt Earp with Costner as well, because that is a more detailed telling of his life. What was on the list? Let's see. Sons of Katie Elder was on the list. I believe I put on there Final Fantasy Spirits Within. I believe I put on there Dances with Wolves. We talked about that earlier. The Shootist. What else did I put on there? There's a number of them. That the whole time I kept going, yeah, it's funny. Thanks. Jesse's very sheltered, yeah. Water. All right, I'm going to tell you guys something. Something that I wish Jay Cart and I would have caught on camera before I came to do the stream. Okay. I was drinking this. I'm sad to say it because I prefer Red Bull. I was drinking a Monster Import, okay? I didn't know about this top, that it's a pressurized thing. And the top was closed because Shy gave it to me to finish off, basically. And I opened it and sprayed myself in the face. Before we started recording, sprayed myself right in the face with this goddamn atrocity. And I wish we would have got it on film. It would have been so good. It would have been so good. But I'll be honest. I did not pick it. Shy brought it home and wanted me to finish it. So I finished it. I would not pick Monster as my energy drink. I am a Red Bull boy. I like the Red Bull candy. I used to go to TGI Fridays and get the Red Bull slushies. I would do that before I performed massage therapy on people because, yes, I have a degree in massage therapy. Was Chandler on the list? Bad Prism. Monster is not my preferred. That's for sure. But yeah, I wish we would have caught that on film. J Cart was getting everything prepped right. I'm like, this is a weird top. How's this thing working? Just right in the face. There you go. Phantom of the Opera, Les Miserables, Spirits Within, Pokemon the first movie. Or no, Pokemon the movie 2000, I think. Yeah, that's it. Yes, you have to watch Lord of the Rings in the order that is written. Pompoko, yep. Sinbad. The Sinbad is the animated one as well. There's a number of really good films in there. Titan AE is really good too. And I don't care what anyone says. Okay, Porco Rosso is a great film done by Studio Ghibli. And Pompoko is also a great film if you can get past the tanukis with giant nutsacks. It's a really good film. Normal green monster isn't for me. This is import, so it's not quite normal. It does taste a little bit different, but not greatly. I just prefer Red Bull. Yeah, I did paste really weird. Tops on burn energy cans. We did silly things with those. I don't like them. I was not prepared to get sprayed in the face by my drink. Thank you, Alpha. Very much appreciate that. I don't think Sarah's part of the Discord, but maybe she is. I don't remember. Our Discord keeps getting bigger and bigger. Your import might be the normal one for me. That's possible. I'd rather be a pig than a fascist. Okay, that is not wrong, but very out of left field. Thank you. Very, very left field. Thank you. Christ almighty. I just noticed my goodbye thing on Gabo isn't sitting properly. There we go. But, oh yeah. Apparently it's really windy outside. Because that wind is just a blowing out there right now. It's supposed to start raining soon. Yes, that's what it says. Rain will be starting in about 30 minutes. Huzzah! I like that idea. Animal Farm flashbacks. Who was talking about Animal Crossing the other day now? I think it might have been Mayo that was mentioning Animal Crossing. That's a game, like, when it was on the GameCube I played, but I didn't really play anything very much after that. I tried the last phone one, but it's the line from Porco Rosso. I'd be a pig than a fascist. When does he say that? Is that when he's in the fist fight? Because for some odd reason, I'm not remembering that line at all. Okay, it was Mayo, and then Jesse's saying she mentioned it to Valkyrie the other day. Because, like, I think that's when he was being mocked for it. Was during the fist fight, right? My thing is I don't remember, like, quotes or stuff like that from films very well. Like, if you want to talk to me about actors and stuff, I can't tell you those either. Unless, like, I remember them for a specific reason. Flying Away, I believe, would have to double check. Okay. Yeah, no, that kind of sounds right. Greetings, Francis. Hello, hello, hello. But either way, it's still an amazing Studio Ghibli film. It's definitely how I see myself some days. I see myself as something that most people don't care for. And there's always that one person that you end up showing your trueness of them. Or trueness of yourself, and they're going, oh, no, you're not this way, you're, no, this way. I did make the Lonely Island a prison. Yes. Good job, Mayo. Just got here, thanks for sharing the food drive info, means a lot. Of course, my dude. And then, like I told you on Monday, I'll get that link and everything set up, and we'll start doing our streams and see where we can hit that goal. Or at least hit some goal, hit somewhere. Every little bit helps, right? And that's the main thing of it. Every dollar is a potential food item to help a kid. So that's what matters with that. Meeting with a fellow officer in a movie theater. Oh, okay. Yeah, I suppose, and technically Italy was under fascist regime. Yeah, that makes sense. I think I know the spot. Yep. Okay. Yeah, I know the spot. Yeah, because that's the World War I veteran transformed into a pig. Yeah, that dark movie theater where he's wearing the the great big outfit. Yeah, try to watch a lot of those before you went to Japan. Oh no, I found it, Jesse. I found it. I got there. I just watch Studio Ghibli films because I enjoy them and I like sharing them with people. If I had to pick my favorite Studio Ghibli film, mm, I know most people go with like Princess Mononoke, or they go with Howl's Moving Castle, or headset just died. Weird. It's turned off. Shit, what was the last one? My neighbor Totoro, but I would definitely have to say Pom Poko is probably my favorite Studio Ghibli film. Been in Akira mood. May put it on later. Yes. I don't know if I'll ever make a trip to Japan or not. I think I'd feel really weird. Mononoke is your favorite Studio Ghibli. Mononoke is a great film, though. It is a great film. I just think I like the meaning and the power behind Pom Poko more. I would say Spirited Away because it has another similar thing of like you gotta, you know, keep things clean, which is what happens with the river spirit and getting the bath, and they're yanking out a bunch of garbage from it because Miyazaki was very much a individual who wanted to keep the parks and stuff going good. Kiki's Delivery Service is really good. Yep. God, the love relationship, and that is so good. Soft spot for Totoro. I tried to get a Totoro onesie once, and I was so pissed off because I'm such a big guy. It said large, it said extra large, it said biggest size available. It was still too small. And I got mad. I got really, really disheartened, which is why I've never worn another onesie besides that goddamn pink Easter Bunny one, and I'm really pissed off that I wore that in the first place. I would love to get an actual good anime onesie. Can't decide between Totoro and Howl's. Do I have it over here? I don't know if I do. I actually have a Calcifer keychain, and I have a lanyard as well with the bacon and the eggs and stuff like that all over it. And I've had that for a number of years now that we used to have attached to our car keys. Have you tried a really hot shower? Things might shrink. So funny. Ponyo is also the first one you ever saw. Nausicaa of the Wind is fantastic. What's the other one? Is it Earth and Sea? Is that the one I'm thinking of? I think it's, or is it Tales of Earth and Sea? I think it's something like that. Is quite good as well. Shit. What's the other one I'm thinking of? Castle in the Sky was really good. Castle in the Sky is actually amazing. I am in fact hilarious in my humble opinion. Your opinion is not humble, sir. It is a fact. Mr. Prism, how dare you, sir? How dare you make me stick in my own humble abode? How dare you make my... I stopped myself. How dare you make my shorts become so entrenched in the white viscous juices from inside my own body? How dare you, sir? Do it again, Daddy, please. Do it again. Nazca's not Studio Ghibli. Yeah, it's not Studio Ghibli, but it's a Miyazaki film. Tales from Earthsea, that's it. Yep. I knew I was close. You know what? Mike from Real Evidence was like, you guys are getting way too like frisky and wild in here. You guys are bad. You guys are smutty. I swear to God, that man has never been in my streams. Because we get way more vulgar in here than he does in his. Sorry, Raven. You can't join me in the gooey goodness. Remember going to the video store and renting movies from the Japanimation section back in the day. Fist of the North Star was very, yeah. Ninja Scroll back when was very that way. Ah, crap. I'm blanking on the name, and I know what it is. Gungrave. Gungrave was very violent. Berserk was extremely violent, but God, Berserk is so good. Now, hear me out. Hear me out. If you have never seen the hand-drawn anime of Berserk or read the manga, you can get by with the 3D animated CGI stuff. You can. It's not terrible. It's not great. But it's not super bad. What became bad was when they tried to make the hand-drawn shaded effect mixed with CG when they came out with the reboot of Berserk. The viscous pearlescent discharge percolating through thou pantaloons. Ooh, the way you said that, it makes my spine just tingle, yes. Use those pretty words. Become the next Edgar Allan Poe, dear sir. The Edgar Allan Poe of pornography. Oh my God. I'm reading the Berserk manga right now. I got the first 3 hardcover collections. Berserk is amazing. It is extremely traumatizing, but it's so good. I know, I'm a nerd. What can I say? For anyone that didn't catch last night's live stream involving WoW, we talked about smashing Pokemon, we talked about wrestlers, we talked about a whole bunch of very odd and interesting hobbies that people have, I guess is the appropriate term. We definitely got nerdy in that one. Perhaps a little too much wrestling talk, but I think it turned out fun. That's why I got these on, in case anyone wants to have a nerdy conversation with me in the Discord. I'll do it again. I've done collabing stuff, so there's a smut writer under the pseudonym Edgar Allan Porn. We need more Bacon and Beagle arguments. They're not arguments. They are eccentric discussions. I laughed my ass off about the Pokemon stuff. It gets wild, man. I don't know why. It just does, and we just roll with the punches. I am like the epitome of a variety person. I can talk about just almost anything. I can play almost anything. It just gets really freaking wild. Been trying to read Shoujo, and is that one Josei? The second one I don't recall off the top of my head how to pronounce, to try to help them get printed in more English releases. Velk dropped that Charizard bomb and it went south. Yeah, that was... I could maybe understand Entei. Maybe. Not very well, but maybe. Just a little bit. Charizard? No. That one, no. Alright, speaking of Pokemon, though, not speaking of smashing them, but speaking of Pokemon, I was actually Josei. Okay. For women, yep. Where was I with that? Oh, yes. I was actually speaking with J-Cart about Pokemon as well, and we get to have a little conversation about that in the unedited video of our collab from tonight. So we might do another collaboration about what we talked about in there, and I might, on a members stream, something like that, show off my my really old Pokemon card collection that I still have, because I am that type of a nerd. Yeah. I collect things and I keep them for a long time. And I was talking about in that in the video we did earlier today that I still remember the exact first Pokemon card I ever got from the exact pack. We just got out of Walmart. Me and my buddy at the time, Cashton was his name, and we were in the back seat of my grandmother's 97 Buick LeSabre, silver Buick LeSabre, and we were in the back seat, and we're opening up our very first cards, and the first card I see is a holographic Magneton, and I lose my mind. If I remember, he had a Charizard in his pack. But I didn't even care that he had a Charizard. I was ecstatic because I had something different, something that I actually really enjoyed using when it came to playing the Pokemon games, because I like lightning types. So, but I'm a huge Bulbasaur freak. Bulbasaur's my go-to. Card collection got lost somehow. I have mine. I have all of the holos. I have a number of Japanese cards. I have a number of like the first edition stamped ones. I have some jungle mixed in there. So this is all stuff from way back when they originally first started. Holographic Alakazam, Machamp, Feraligatr when that came out. I have a Typhlosion. I think I have a Moltres and a Zapdos. Snorlax. These are just ones I can think off the top of my head that I do have that are holographic. I think I have a holographic Chansey, but I don't remember. I think I do. I even have the trainer ones. I have Blaine's Arcanine and stuff like that as well. Misty's Starmie. Yeah, I'm nerdy. D&D, Pokemon, video games. I have a pink Jigglypuff shirt that says, "Look at my fucking Jigglypuff t-shirt, you fucking fuck." As well as a nice Jigglypuff collection. If I got a Jigglypuff t-shirt, or even like the Squirtle one, I would have to get the one that is like designed for women, right? So that the smile goes to the nips or whatever. I would have to wear that. I'd wear that and tie it down here and be like, "Yes, look at me. You want to get wet? Because I do. Squirt, squirt." No, if I wore a Jigglypuff one, I just put people to sleep. I just sit there and drone on and on, since people fall asleep to my voice anyways. Like my cat. She is passed out. Ay, ay, ay. I think one thing I never really got into collecting is like figurines of anything. I had a decent like Pokemon figurine collection at one point in time. I don't know what ever happened with those, but I had a decent one. I always wanted to get the opposable like Final Fantasy figurines, but never had the ability to do so, unfortunately. If I ever get that like adult money, that fun money, I will definitely get some of them. I mean, we have adult money for liquor, but I want to have something that's a wee bit better than just the liquor. Even though the liquor's all D&D based, need something a little bit better than that. But like we do have, you know, little moments where we get things that are, you know, you spend with adult money. We got a little bullet bill here. My 120 sided dice. I think Shy got me this for Christmas one year, or maybe my birthday one year, a long time ago. I've only used it in a campaign a handful of times because a 120 dice is just it's kind of like overkill if I'm being completely honest. And God, is it big. That's what she said. Nope. Stay. And like once that thing starts rolling, it really doesn't want to stop, so you have to roll it in a dice box. Otherwise, it just keeps rolling. What? If anyone gets that reference, you have my respect. I collect /eBay, so my collection is constantly rotating aside from a few sentimental things, mostly retro and nerdy stuff. Roll that too hard, you could knock someone out, right? How do you even read that thing? Not about me, but she said it. So when you roll it, there's going to be one number that's actually going to like sit on top. So even though these are really close, it's coming kind of blurry there. I don't know if I can actually get that to focus or not. Not very well. It would end up being that 11 instead of the 8 if it landed on top like that. Or sorry, the 111. Like it's hard to read, but the top facing part is readable, I guess, in a way, but rolling. What? Yep. Oop. Hello, you guy. I have 24 karat gold Togepi with its Pokeball from Burger King. Those were collectible at one major time. You got some Funko Pops. That seems tricksy. That's why I don't use it, because it is kind of hard to read. Instead, what I do use... Is it up there or down here? I want to say it's up here. So I can find it. Hang on. Not that. Ow. Don't know what that was. So, yeah. Instead, I have a collection. If it'll fucking... of Elvish dice that I use for most of my stuff. It's got elven runes around it from the actual language that Tolkien did write for his Elvish. So that's what I end up using, is these guys. And when I don't use these, I have my original set, which is just gray and red, and that ends up scoring like above 15 more often than I want to. I've never had a loaded 20. Never. But I have a story that makes it feel like it, and I know, but I've never had a loaded 20. And I know you think I did. I did not. We played D&D. Boogie and I think he was there for this one. And cool that Elvis made dice, yeah. I was on my original dice sets, which was just my steel, silver, and my red. And I rolled my D20, and it literally went around a pop can and scored a critical. And that same dice scored 3 more criticals after that. It's not fucking loaded, because I scored 4 fumbles a ways afterwards. It's not loaded. It just felt like it. And it beat the hell out of the party. It rolled all the way around a goddamn pop can. It's not loaded. I do not do that. I am so against cheating, like every way, shape, and form. The only time I was for cheating was when I was using cheat codes back in the day for like the Grand Theft Autos. Lies of shop. It's not as bad as my dad's white D20 from his original white box set. That thing is, I swear that thing has to be loaded, because I've never seen a man score more criticals on anybody in my life than my father. It's the 20 that tells the story, right? And there were, was it 4 or 5 of us around the table at the time when it did that? I don't remember how many there were, but there was a number of us. We were all just like stunned, shocked, in awe. And I just started doing my maniacal laugh basically right afterwards. Beagle's a cheater? No, I am not. Like I said, the only time I really did like any form of cheating was back when cheat codes were an actual thing you could get from the magazines and whatever in like Grand Theft Auto games. You type in like infinite health, infinite ammo, money glitch, or you'd play The Sims and you type in Rosebud to get yourself $1,000, or was it 10,000 or something like that. Which I think they still allow that. I don't remember though, but I think they still do. Or you'd type in, what was it, Some Millionaire? I think that was another one. I never cheated in any form of like multiplayer setting. If it was a single player, then yeah, I might have done like the cheat codes at that point in time, but not on D&D. No. Now you're licking yourself? Really? Thank you. Thank you for giving them a show. Like, I think I actually have that D20 in here. That silver one. Give me a second. I got a number of things in here. Hold on. Had a cheat code that gave the infinite gold in Civilization 1 or 2. I love playing Civ games. Yep, here it is. This is that D20 that Boogie was mentioning. Okay, I rolled it. I scored an 18. It's still not loaded, though. You have no proof. Goddamn. We're just going to put that back now. She's covered by chat. I know she is, but you can still see her tongue down there. Can't you? Yeah, hi. Under the chin. Oh, ho, 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 ho. She's a menace to society. R1, R2, B, black, up, down, up, down, up, down. Wasn't that the, that's the Xbox one, right? That's the Xbox cheat, because the Xbox had white and black buttons. Why are you putting your head in there? There's nothing for you in there. You're so weird. Lower wanted level in GTA still ingrained. Oh my god. Yeah, Mouse, I used to play Civ games all the time. My buddies and I think I mentioned this a number of times, would always play like Civ 5, I think it was. And every time we loaded in, if I ever chose Germany, the game forced me to be on my own fucking island every damn time. Everyone else was on the same goddamn continent. not me. We wouldn't even play islands. We would specifically choose it so that we could fight on a continent against each other, and no, the game would automatically push me off to my own little space. I just found a tick. I hate you bastards. Unfortunately, I don't have a lighter right now to deal with you, but I got something just as good. Oh, that's a lovely sound to hear. Yeah. If you don't have a lighter to deal with a tick, and you got one of these little nice things right here, you know, handy little nail clippers, squeeze as hard as you can actually hear their carapaces crack. And then they die. No more tick, go bye-bye. That's the problem with living out in the country and having animals. Even if you put like the flea and tick stuff on them, it just keeps the ticks from biting your animal. It does not keep them from climbing on them, unfortunately. So it's a real ball ache. Another tick bites the dust, and another one gone, another one gone, another tick bites the dust. Another one ticked off. Ticked off that list, yes sir. I might have to put in some air conditioning units in tomorrow. At least in the kids' room. It's like 78 degrees in their room right now. Good lord. And the worst part is that, like, their room has the western facing window, and that's where all the sunlight comes in at the end of the day because there's nothing to block it, really. So it warms their room up really bad right before bedtime. So they'll get a AC unit put in there tomorrow. You know, I was looking into a few of these other I don't want to say like okay, I'll say paranormal entertainers, right? And my only thought when I was watching some of these and watching different reactions to them and whatever is, how the fuck do people still believe this garbage? How do people believe it? Is it a want to believe? Is it a mental negligence? They want to be oblivious? They want to be ignorant? It's hard to fathom. Two reasons. Oh boy. What's your two reasons for why people keep believing or trusting or accepting the paranormal entertainers? Not what the paranormal entertainers are doing. They're doing it for money and clout, but why do people believe? People are very sad and want it to be real, and people are stupid beyond belief. There you go. Denial, all that. There, yeah. Unfortunately, that's what it comes down to. Okay. Especially, right, with the ITC devices, that is definitely people wanting it to be real, people being in denial so bad. And, like, with what Dolly has done, right, going after Seg and stuff like that, and getting both of his videos taken down involving her now. Because you can clearly see, like, in the video that he did have up, which I think you can, like, they're only taken down in Australia. You can still see them around here in the US and stuff like that and everywhere else. She is messing with a computer while they're doing it, and everyone should be able to see this and recognize that. I see a lot of people talking about their loved ones they lost. Okay. It's going to sound so bad right now. Okay. if people have watched this stuff, right, and they want to believe it, why do they not go through the channels to do it their damn selves? And then they will find out that it is completely fabricated. But then again, maybe they don't want to have that illusion busted, I think. Grief brings a need for paranormal contact. Perhaps. I mean, like I mentioned earlier, it'll be 23 years of my mother's passing on Tuesday, right? But there's no way in hell I'm ever going to believe that anyone non-associated, right, with my family, my immediate family, would ever be able to communicate with my mother in any fucking fashion, because that makes sense. These people have no connection to any of the people that they are communicating with. And it seems like that logic just vanishes. And it could just be because they don't want the illusion to be broken, right? Because they want that sensation that there is something in the next world or what have you that they're bound to meet. And yeah, it's because of grief, because it's longing, they're missing their relatives or what have you. But goddamn, like why the hell would Michael Jackson's ghost want to talk to someone that has never been a part of his life? He wouldn't at all, which has been stated by a number of paranormal content creators, paranormal investigators, you know, call them what you wish depending on what they're doing that specific day. But goddamn. And then, ooh, hello. Nope, bigger. That wasn't a tick, that was like a little ant. Itty bitty little guy. But, you know, but so many people seem to believe it so heavily. They don't think. Then if you ever question the individuals doing it, they get so goddamn butthurt because you're basically threatening their way of life by taking away their cash cow. And all they're doing is just scamming people and preparing, you know, they will be getting traumatized once the truth actually comes out and they're found to be frauds. Ugh. Are the insects invading? No, it's cooler in the house than it is outside right now. It's still warm outside. And because I keep this window open right now, and we actually have a flower garden right below the window, that's where these little itty bitty ants end up coming from. And they're quite annoying. They don't really do anything. Like, they don't come in like hordes. You just get one every so often. It's like, why? And like, you either have like one just like touch your hair or whatever, just slowly walking by you, or you done. You hit them in the left and right nut with that. You attack both beliefs and income. Right. But how many of these ITC people believe what they're actually doing? My assumption is fucking zero. Big old goddamn goose egg. They only believe in that dollar. My personal humble opinion. Because if they actually truly believe that they were communicating, they would attempt to not go for celebrities. They would attempt to go for people in their local communities to help them out. But we had an ant using a gap in the wall as a shortcut, right? I've seen a couple of smaller channels believing in it. It's it's so sad. That's why I've decided, when I do my investigations, I want to have things that can be physically manipulated and only physically manipulated. I want to have an audio recorder, yes, because I want to have, the chance of audio thing, but it's going to be something that doesn't have a shit ton of internal static because I know what I'm doing. I've done media work before. I'm also not going to be using white noise generators, which is just going to create more noise contamination, which is not needed. And in all the statements, right, everyone goes, oh, this moved, that moved, I was always touched. So then these entities should always be able to do that, so they should be able to do something physical. We shouldn't have to have these entities try to communicate to us through a device. This is a baby monitor. This isn't going to... My mother's not mysteriously going to start shouting through the baby monitor. It's going to be one of my goddamn kids. You know what I mean? Like, yes, if my mother's spirit is here, she's been around watching everything transform and progress over the last 20 odd years that she's been gone. She would understand how to operate these things because she would be here. Under that assumption, she could operate these things and communicate to me any point in the time that she ever wished. Why doesn't that happen? Because it doesn't fucking work that way. If they have the ability to do anything, it would be some form of physical manipulation. Kinetic energy, EMF spectrum, visible light, and sound waves. Yeah. Like, as for like the electromagnetic frequencies and electromagnetic fields and stuff like that, if you were in a place where you're getting casual spikes, right, you have to figure out the source of the casual spike. You have to figure out, is it in a certain location? Is it when you're moving a certain way? Is it when it's directed a certain way? And all these investigations, why do they never turn their phones off and leave them in the car? And I'm not just talking paranormal entertainers at this moment in time. Investigators do it too. Turn your fucking phones off and leave them in the goddamn car. If there are spirits, ghosts, or anything paranormal interacting with us, they have to be interacting within the borders of our senses. Yes. It'd be sight, it'd be sound, it'd be touch. I would hope it wouldn't be taste. I mean, if a dude is sticking his spectral dick in my mouth and, shooting out his ectoplasm, maybe that gives me the odd taste, I guess. Maybe that's a good reason for that. But the phantom smell phenomenon has actually been shown a number of times to be easily debunked, right? My father's house. When my father dies, even if that house gets cleaned out, if I leave any traces of wood in that home that have collected the smoke from his cigarettes, when they get warm and those pores open back up in that wood, that smell will come back out. It can be warmed up by the sun. It can be warmed up by heating up the concrete that the house sits on. It can be warmed up by a heater sitting next to it, and it will smell like my father again. It'll smell like the menthols he smokes, right? So unless you're smelling something very specific in a location that this person never existed in, you can't use that either. Cigarette smoke and perfume smoke stick around forever. They do. They do. The house of a smoker, as soon as the humidity rises, you'll get the cig smell. Exactly. And a lot of people, from what I have seen, a lot of them always talk about a perfume or a cigar or a pipe smoke. It's just stuck in the grains of the wood. And all it takes is a bit of heat. And the pores open and everything comes out. So the smell, sense of smell, you have to get away with. Our sense of vision, right? Usually when people talk about seeing shadows, they're seeing them here in their peripherals. And when they talk about seeing it straight ahead, it's usually not in a well-lit room, which then brings the absence of light effect. So if you shift your eyes, you can see a silhouette of whatever's in front of you to help you avoid it. It's what happens when you try to walk around your house in the dark, or if you keep your eyes, closed long enough, like what pirates did at one point in time. They wore the eye patch during the day, take it off at night, and they had decent vision. They could get around when they needed to. So you almost have to throw your sense of sight out. Sense of touch, well, we get touched by so many different things, it doesn't take much to raise your hair. You guys literally saw I was chasing an ant. An itty bitty little ant because he moved a hair on my wrist. I didn't feel him until that hair moved, but once I felt it move, I knew where he was at. So when I do an investigation, when the time comes, I do plan on having things that can be physically manipulated by something else, where I am not in charge of it. It's not electronically operated, besides like batteries for a flashlight. Before you ask about the flashlight, no, I'm tightening the end on it. It's not going to be one of those little itty bitty mag lights. It's going to be one you have to click, click. If I do not hear the click, click, it never happened. It has to be physically altered with, physically manipulated. And then I'm going to have sound equipment to collect the sound nearby, along with barometers, anemometers to check wind speed. I'm going to be checking the humidity. I'm going to be checking all of it, because that is how you investigate, in my opinion. We cannot use these, as bad as it says, you cannot go with what anyone tells you as a personal experience, because a personal experience cannot be replicated and it cannot be debunked. There is the chance of it happening at a different time. That's why it becomes a claim, and you investigate the claim of it happening. But it's such a... Yes, phantom vibrations is an actual thing. For so long, right, now we got these phones, it's different. When I was younger and I had a flip phone, right, I wore carpenter jeans. When I wasn't wearing my regular Wranglers, I was wearing carpenter pants, and they had that pocket on the side of your leg. I always kept my phone there. I don't like having my ringer on, so it was always on vibrate, and I still get phantom vibrations from time to time on the side of my leg. It's just a thing. It just occurred because my body got used to feeling that sensation over a time. It's no different than if you wear a ring, right? You take the ring off. Oops, sorry, I hit the microphone there. You can still feel the ring being there, even if it's not there. You have that sensation of it's supposed to be here. You can sense it. You feel it. Your body just doesn't toss that away. And we've tested this many times over. You can actually just take a small little bit of hair, smallest amount you can get. You can feel the tug. You can feel the fingers at the very bottom of it. Do it on your own neck. Do it on your own arm. You can't go with it's not a ghost touching you. It could be anything. It could literally be a spider on the wind, because that's how spiders move great distances. They create a thread, a little web-like parachute that catches the wind, and they fly. That's what they do. The ring is off. Beagle gone wild. The ring of power. And one way to, take away some of the question marks about what's going on is to remove potential variables completely from your area of investigation. And this is the big one. I've already told the people, Jake Hart, Andrew Hart, the whole lot of them, when we do our investigations, I am leaving this in my vehicle off, not on airplane mode, off, because it's going to create way less disruption that way. If I have to, I will get a fucking box to put it in and leave it in the trunk of my vehicle, because I want as little possible contamination as I can feasibly get. And no matter where you go, there's going to be contamination unless you have a fully secured, 100% locked down establishment with no running power and no neighbors. You're always going to have some form of contamination unless you are in full control of it. Don't remind you. Huh? Don't remind you of what, Jesse? Don't forget your tinfoil hat. Mr. Prism, this lovely mane that I carry back here is never being covered up by a hat, my good man, unless it is a cowboy hat. Tinfoil be damned. I hate wearing hats, to be honest with you. I mean, I might do it for a bit, but not very long. Spiders can fly. They don't fly, they just capture a breeze and travel. But anytime someone's like, ooh, I felt a touch. The majority of people, when we feel a touch, we don't jerk ourselves like super crazy. We usually look and see what it is right away. You even saw when I had that tick on my ankle, I literally just moved and took care of it. It's not a freak out moment. You're not throwing your phone. You're not trying to break your own back. You're not trying to snap your own neck. Right? But all these paranormal entertainers, that's exactly what they do. And I'm not going to do that. As I was doing the collaboration tonight with J-Cart, there came a part in our reaction where he actually jumped a little bit because of what we were viewing. I didn't move a fucking muscle. Because I normally just don't jump. It's going to be the same way when I go investigating. Unless I have something to go, beagle, really loudly in my ear, or someone come up behind me, I'm probably not going to freak out. Why? Because even though I've never been on an investigation, freaking out in any situation does not help the situation. And for a lot of these paranormal entertainers that have been doing this crap for 18 years, some of them have stated, bullshit. They have the same excuse. Oh, you don't know what it's like when you find something. It's like, whoa. The majority of the shit you find is nothing. Not a damn thing. Ever. And any person that says they're being touched every single goddamn video by every single entity alive, you must be the most attractive thing on the fucking planet. Or you're lying out your goddamn ass. Straight up, flat out, there is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And yes, hats suck with long hair. Sorry, I'm going on a paranormal rant, goddammit. I have feelings about this stuff, and I don't express them enough. But yes, even our, esteemed paranormal investigators, one of the things they gotta do is they gotta put these away when they do their stuff. My problem is that it seems to be rare, but somehow everyone has experiences. Yes. It seems like a large majority of people have experiences. A REM pod beeps, scream. Now, if I'm in an area, okay, and I put a REM pod up, let's say, 3 stories above me, in a locked location, where no one's going to, and we don't have walkie-talkies, and there is no power to the establishment, and it's been silent for 4 hours, and then it starts going off rapidly, crazily, maybe, just maybe, there might be something worth investigating at that moment. When all the other variables have been removed to a precise and calculated extent, maybe there might be something to look into then. And what's it going to probably be? A cobweb, a breeze, a bug, more than likely coming too close to that piece of equipment. But if that is reviewed and none of that seemed to happen, okay, now it's worth investigating deeper. And that's the way it should always be done. The skeptics seem to never have experiences. That is accurate. Very, very accurate. Like you hear a lot of people going, oh, I swear to God, I heard my voice, or I heard someone say my name. Cool. I can go outside and think someone's saying my name too. It's called the wind. It can usually be blowing through the trees, which will make a unique noise. If you have any mockingbirds in the area or birds that do know how to mimic, and someone has said your name a lot of times, it could honestly be a bird. I've ran into that situation twice in my life. It's weird that's happened twice, but it has happened twice. Because someone owned a fucking goddamn parrot. And if you aren't prepared for that, you don't know about it. Because some birds can mimic very, very well. Other people are like, oh, I was all by myself and I heard this tremendous scream. Okay, are you in cougar country? And no, I'm not talking about older women after young men. Are you in cougar country? Like the puma, the mountain lion? Are you anywhere that lynx are known to travel through, or bobcats? Or again, are there specific birds? Or was there a murder that took place down the road? Right? Things to look into. Ooh, quiet. If I heard that, I'd be like, quiet. So skeptics are stupid, or yes, there's potentially nothing. The other cougars can also scream. Yes, but they're not the ones I'm talking about. They're usually not screaming the same way, from what I've been told. It's usually on your knees, boy. No, fuck my life. It should not be this hard for any true investigator, true person of the paranormal community to do some of these things. I'm not calling anybody out because everyone investigates their own way, but there are a number of people that I've watched, and it's like, you're doing some of the same shit you've called others out for. Stop. God damn it. Foxes, birds, farm animals, yes. There are some sheep that kind of yell like men. Yeah, happens. It's annoying, but it happens. Rabbits. Have you guys ever heard a rabbit scream? Rabbits give out a terrifying shriek. Has been mistaken for a woman screaming at the top of her lungs many times. Also, I'm assuming Sarah said ta-ta time. Or is that ta-ta? TT? Ta-ta for now, I think. Yes. Rabbits make horrible noises, and that gets mistaken all the time. I really hope one day that, even though my paranormal standards thing was kind of like, it was all created by the bigger named individuals over the last, 15, 20 years, way back when, during the start of this big, grand re-emergence, I guess, of the paranormal stuff. I really hope it changes just to simple, basic, logical things. Don't trust a phone with a giant word bank that you can alter. Don't use radio stations that will literally give you sound clips and sound bites of things that are going on, because it doesn't work. Don't use reverb. It doesn't need to sound spooky. It needs to come out clear. And the fact that people don't logically understand this or see this thing, it's like, why? Okay, Beagle Nerdy Rant done now. Jesus Christ. I can go on forever about why things are so bad. Stop trusting people using ITC devices. Get a fucking guitar pedal and try to contact your Aunt Sophia or something like that. And you'll find out it doesn't fucking work. There have been humans living in the area where I live for the last 4,000 years where there are ghosts and spirits, and yet you've encountered none. Raven is 40% sticky. It goes in cycles. We're in the loud phase. Another trend will come along, hopefully a quieter one, right? Why don't we have ghosts here? Exactly. They always gotta be at places you have to pay to get in. It's that pay to play mentality, man. Even the ghosts are a part of it. The ghosts are like, oh, you're struggling financially? Here. We told the owner to charge you $700 for a 2-hour stay. Enjoy. Damn ghosts. They're part of this goddamn money machine. They're conquering it. They're possessing these people to do it. The ghosts are scared of common sense. That's why I've never encountered one. Because I got too much common sense, apparently. I will do the things I've just mentioned, you know, when September comes around and I get to do my investigation with that group. When it comes to the stuff I'll be doing on my camera setup and whatnot, I will definitely be following what I want to do with that. And that will be ensuring that I remove as many variables as I can to try to give myself the most accurate assessment of the location that I'm in. And if I hear a big old bump in the night, I'm definitely going to go investigate. I'm not going to run with my tail between my goddamn legs. I'm a beagle. I'm not a scaredy beagle. I also don't run worth a shit. Not anymore. I used to do 5Ks, but no, not anymore for this guy. Figured out why we don't have haunted houses. If you profit from something, it's a business and you have to pay tax and insurance. That's why it's not a haunted house. It is a they call it abandoned buildings, right? They're abandoned buildings. No one's residing there anymore. People have left. You can just walk into the place, even though here in the U.S. that'd be breaking and entering. And I see that all the time with like a lot of UK stuff. And my only thought is, how do you get permission to go to these locations and just enter them? And who knows if you've actually taken anything from that property? It boggles my mind. Because if I were to ever trespass onto a property, right, even if I got permission to be at the property, walking on the property and going inside the location, like the building itself, are two different things you have to ask for. And you have to get like legal law enforcement like representation to ensure you don't fuck with shit you ain't supposed to fuck with. You know what I mean? Yeah. Doesn't make any sense to me. If someone has to pay for something, our government will tax it. No escape. I don't know. I just really hope that people don't start breaking into places anymore. We don't have abandoned buildings. Land is too expensive. We have, so like even around me, right? there are 3 abandoned farms, right, around me. One is a couple miles to the north of me, one is a few miles to the east of me, and then one is like 15-ish miles to the south of me. Completely abandoned farms. No one's been there for a decade, maybe a little bit more, right? The place is in complete disarray and falling apart. If I were to go there without any form of permission, right, go to that location and start going into the house, I have trespassed on the property and I have committed breaking and entering. If I were to take anything, then I've committed burglary at that location. I don't understand why it is okay in the UK, because I do see a number of paranormal teams, investigator and or entertainer, I can't determine which sometimes, that are doing this. How is it okay in the UK? Like, do you just randomly find this fucking house and just decide to go in? Like, what the fuck? Had a mate walk into a drug lab. Like, precisely, that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't know what's there. You have to get permission from someone, right? From your guys', how are they called? They're called, county courts, or whatever the hell they are. There has to be something, and I don't want to name the groups, but some of them with the name paranormal in them, and one with the name ghosts in them, tend to just do stuff they shouldn't. I didn't get to hear the scream because my headphones decided to die on me. I've just been wearing them the entire time with no sound. Because I'm weird like that. But hello there, Tay. Thank you for waking everybody up, I think, and you probably made Raven piss her damn self. I don't know. There's so many things that just don't make sense about how investigations happen, the locations they happen at, the so-called investigative groups are even very, very questionable at fucking best. Every property belongs to someone, maybe a bank or a development company. Exactly. So, like, no matter what you're doing, you're trespassing. You have to contact somebody. There's no way you can just go there and then you record, and all these groups, right? They record what the outside of the house looks like. They just avoid putting the address in so they can use this place again in the future, more than likely. I just don't get it. Maybe it's a me thing. I don't know. If you have to break into abandoned buildings by going through a window, perhaps, or kicking in a door, perhaps, maybe you shouldn't be there. All right? If you have to big time pay to play situation, maybe you shouldn't be there either. Now, don't get me wrong. If it's a reasonable price, yeah, okay, give it a shot, right? And I'm saying reasonable, I'm saying like under $1,000 for 5 to 10 people for an extended stay. That is a reasonable price. I'm saying reasonable kind of loosely in that, but that is reasonable. For bigger locations, right? But still, I still have my personal angers about that. And you got chased by the cops after. Yeah, that happens if you try to break into a house. You get fucking chased down. Why would a ghost live in an abandoned house? Some people go with the idea that they are, attached to the land, the property, yada, yada, yada. If that was the case, My Aunt Toots, yes, everyone called her Toots. No, it was not her real name, but yes, everyone called her Toots for almost 50 or 60 years. I only just recently learned what her actual name was the last couple years, okay? If they were attached to the land, she was attached to the house that my father is now in. She swore up and down she would haunt my dad. She did not like my dad taking the house. She didn't like my dad finding the buried treasure that my Uncle Bob, yes, there's a number of Bobs in the family, that my Uncle Bob left on the property, supposedly left on the property. She would be on that property haunting my father daily if she had the ability to. Investigating Airbnbs was so silly too. Didn't Yasko do that for the longest time? Just constantly doing Airbnbs, and then I think CJ Faison did it, and then Faison just bought his own place or something along those lines. Some weird, crazy shit like that. Maybe ghosts just want to be left alone. It's very possible. If ghosts just want to be left alone, then how are they answering so many ITC devices? How are they coming through so many spirit boxes? How are they connecting with so many psychics? How are so many psychics seeing them walk down the roads, but the psychics can't see if they're about to get into a car crash? Or the psychic can't determine when the make-a-rib gets taken off the menu at McDonald's? Anybody? Sick of all the ghost hunters. I remember Omar and some others did. Yeah, I think Omar Gosh did that. What a joke that guy turned out to be too. I know they're much bigger channels. I have no reason to say anything mean or rude against them, but my fucking God. I have found Jesus investigating the spiritual realm is against the book of God, and I will not do it anymore. I'll just repost everything I've ever done to flood the market and increase my ad revenue. Not calling anyone out on doing that, but maybe. Maybe the mediums and devices are like torture to the spirits. That's a good... Well, okay, if mediums and devices were torture to the spirits, then you would assume the spirits would come to the individuals who don't have them. Or they'd go to the individuals that aren't a part of that to tell them, get these people to stop. Maybe that's why the debunkers started. Because a spiritual entity dove into the minds of people who... Change this. Make them stop. It's horrible. I don't know. It's a possibility. See, this would be a good podcast thing to sit and talk about the inner mechanisms of the spirit's conscious, I guess. If the spirits have a will of their own to stop things, and if they can actually feel pain after death. Sitting here trying to think of something snarky to say, but I got nothing. How's it going, Leanne? How can they communicate without the devices? You know, I recall this amazing case, right? Where a woman was lifted up and thrown out of a room from her chair. Now, I recall that during this whole thing, people claimed to hear voices and things were shaking and rattling. That would there indicate that the spirits could actually manipulate things in our own physical space to tell us things. And you know what's crazy? Almost every single person that's died for thousands of years have seen these weird little instruments that perform this ability called writing. If they can lift up a woman and throw her out of a room, out of her chair, as the story goes, by the way, I think they can pick up the itty bittiest of writing utensils and explain to us what's going on in life or the afterlife. Just saying. Rattle some chains like a normal ghost. Ouija boards. Speaking of, my cat is laying on my planchette. And if people are a fan of that particular story where a woman got thrown out of her chair, which is the claim of her daughter, too fucking bad. It's all goddamn made up. Sounds like easy math to figure out how many joules worth of energy that was. It would be very easy, considering that they claimed that she was thrown from her chair out into an entirely different room. You could definitely figure out how much it would be. Give a base idea of, let's say, 100-pound woman being lifted up in the air, probably 3 to 5 feet, being thrown 10 feet. And if something could do that, you can use this little itty bitty, tiny, teeny, itsy bitsy fucking writing utensil. You could pick up a piece of chalk. You could pick up a fucking knife and carve it in wood, right? Ghosts used to whisper, rattle chains, use drafts. Did they forget how to do these things? Apparently so. The ghosts are no longer what Charles Dickens wrote, okay? They don't act that way anymore. They don't do the Marley and Marley, ooh. I hope people get that reference. Oh, such a good film. I love it so much, and they did it so dirty these days. Fuck you, I'm not a performing monkey. Right. New generations of ghosts. Oh. They're more tech savvy. Maybe you become literally handicapped for your ghost. Then how do they manipulate things? They can't touch things, right? They can't use their hands to touch it, right? That must mean they use their mind, right? They use their ESPN. It's a joke, right? ESPN. They use their mind. They use telepathy. They use this ability of clairvoyance to connect to us. So we can see them in the spiritual realm, the astral plane. Bend the fork. Lift the pencil. Pen. Same thing. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. You can't. Because that's literally what it would be. If they have the inability to actually physically manipulate things with their own physical bodies, whatever bodies it would be, the ectoplasmy, blah, shit. Then they have the power of the mind to alter things around them, to affect things. Because we have given them this power through decades of wild stories. I've never written something with my mind. I wouldn't know how it works. You have written things with your mind. You just didn't take it from the mind to the hand to the paper. Use the force, Luke. Use the force. It's... Okay. I have an idea. I have a thought. Now, we have this amazing ability called diction, right? We can dictate things. We can actually form this on Microsoft Word. You can bring it up. You can use your own microphone, speak into it, and it writes on the screen for you. Why doesn't someone bring a laptop, open up Microsoft Word, put it in diction mode, and see if the spirits can speak through the microphone to create words? We say we hear them all the time. We can hear their voices. We can hear their sounds, their breaths. Why couldn't they speak into a microphone and create words upon the screen? Why has no one attempted this? This sounds like a great idea. He said dicks. Dicks. Tell me it wouldn't be awesome to be sitting in a room and then words start going across the screen because something is speaking into the microphone connected to it. Why has no one done this? It would be a fun test. And it makes logical sense. It's not some wild cockamamie idea. We say we can hear them, right? We use microphones to capture their voices, their EVPs, whatever, right? Their electrical or their electric voice phenomenons and what have you. If we have the ability to physically hear them with our own ears, which with whatever spectrum they're sitting in the hertz, and then we have the ability to capture them, why not do this? Because we weren't as brilliant as you. Reminds me of Fringe with the extra dimensional typewriters. Or what was it? Warehouse 13 had some stuff like that too, I think. Steal his idea. It bring that idea up to some of your guys' favorite paranormal content creators and say, hey, Beagle had this idea. What do you think about it? If they start talking paranormal stuff in a stream or whatever, go, Beagle, I had this brilliant idea. What if we tried this? See what they say, because you guys will probably get to them before I do. It makes sense. It makes crazy sense. I have no idea why no one ever attempted this. And if they have, I've never seen it. Yes, loud crack because I had a piece of candy in my mouth. It would be a very interesting experiment. Because then it is affecting multiple different senses at one time. Not only will their voice be recorded on the microphone, because you could have OBS up at the same time to record the audio coming out of or coming to this. Then you have the an external validity test, which would be the words written on. So then you can test to see if there is the words that match the writing. It would be a multi-layered test to give you validation. It would be an incredibly wild breakthrough. The only hindrance is how sensitive the microphone would be to pick it up and if there's anyone else around. But if you did it in a controlled way in a locked room where everyone is outside the building, inside of another building or inside of a car, and you're watching on camera, okay, the microphone, the computer screen, the whole 9 yards, you're watching, you're making sure there's a camera on the door so that no one can get in. You have yourself an experiment that could test the legitimacy of us being able to hear the idea of a spirit, a paranormal entity, a paranormal phenomenon, an auditory hallucination, for fuck's sake, whatever you want to call it, that could actually test the validity of it fully and completely without any human interference. Kaboom. Yay, diction mode on Microsoft Word. Whoever would have figured Microsoft would be amazing. You just told Crow. Fuck yeah. He might say it's a good idea at least. Crow might say it's a good idea. Mason might say it's a damn good idea too. I don't know. Apparently my headset kept my hair in the same position way too long. It's worth experimenting. It's worth attempting. It's worth looking into. But just keep these fucking things away from it. Keep the cell phones locked in your car. Keep those away from the actual experiment in general. That way they can't give you false positives on your EMF readers or your really faulty and very debunkable K2 meters or your REM pods. Anything that literally searches for a electromagnetic field. Keep them away. You have to tell someone who won't dismiss out of hand. I mean, even if they dismiss it out of hand, that's fine by me. But then you bring up the question, why would you dismiss it? If we can go around and trying to use REM pods, we try to use cat balls. I am saying we as like a general idea of the paranormal community. And we generally attempt to use right now phone apps. Why not complete a test where all you have is a microphone and a computer? Can we please get away from the Estes? Okay, here is my thought on the Estes. It can be done well under 3 conditions. Number 1, you are nowhere near the participant who is wearing the goddamn headset. At all. Anywhere near them. You have no way to communicate with them. Number 2, you're not using an SB7 spirit box. You are wearing upon yourself some type of parabolic microphone, and you have the headset attached to it where you are hearing things. Okay. Number 3, you never, under any circumstance, do this with an individual who is terrified of being alone, who is confined in any way, shape, or form via chains, handcuffs, straitjackets. Don't do that. Do not lock them in the room that they are in. Then, if a person is calm and they are listening with the parabolic microphone, they could potentially get words. However, a parabolic microphone can travel a great distance. That becomes the massive problem. You and that group, you get in the car and you drive a mile down the road. And you talk in your car. Give yourself the best odds. That could be the new Estes. Something that actually makes a bit more sense than listening to radio static. And, you know, sitting right next to the person and having them go, "Can you hear us? Please poke Davy. When did you die?" Because every time you see an Estes ever happening, primarily is when the 2 people that are supposed to be a part of this experiment are next to each other. Within the same room, within the same dozen feet. Never catching me doing that alone. I would do it. I would gladly do it. I would blindfold myself, put myself into a completely dark room with a headset, parabolic microphone, whole 9 yards. I would not give a fucking shit at all. Yeah, independent recording device, exactly. I mean, I kind of just go with the idea you have to record anyways, but okay, 4, record the thing on an independent thing. Yes. Don't the Paramount aren't they usually connected to a recording device? I mean, not the current Estes, but I think parabolic microphones usually are. I want to do it. See, that makes sense. That makes the Estes way more appealing. Instead of listening to for fucking 20 goddamn minutes. Thank you for volunteering, Beagle. Jesse, I'm dragging you along too. You're being a part of it. You get first dibs. I'll do it afterwards. I don't know. I think I make sense when I talk about this stuff, and I wonder why more people don't. More people talk about how other people do it and bash them for it rather than coming up with solutions to counteract that exact problem. Come up with a solution to the problem rather than bitching about more problems. My opinion. Beagle enjoying her own voice tonight, I see. I've been talking a lot. Hello there, Jake Hart. We were just talking about ways to do paranormal investigations that would maybe improve the standards of the paranormal and the way we look at things and how we do investigations in general. Like solutions to the problems that Beardo calls out, Seg calls out, Gray calls out, Mike, Mason, list goes on and on. Don't just call it out as a problem. Try to develop a solution to it. And I think I've come up with several. They're really good. Yeah, I wouldn't want to do the Estes and just sit and listen to radio static. That would just drive me nuts. I'd probably want to kill somebody. I'm not going to lie. Set me up with a parabolic microphone and I can totally just zone out and just listen to everything that way. The crickets chirping, you can discern that, have that hooked up, go through it. Great idea. And yes, Feral Goth, I have been talking a lot. It is nice to just have my voice for a wee while. I blame Jake Art because he and I did a video recording earlier and it was a lot of talking. Videos where they claim they are recording what is heard on the headphones, but they never play that audio. They never play the full, no. And then whatever they do play, they end up having the subtitle down here, like, oh, it said murder, and it sounds like blah blah, or yeah. I was trying to say rifleman in a spooky voice, but it didn't come out saying rifleman, did it? Do you want to know why it didn't come out that way? Because it's not supposed to. They're just trying to give us subliminal cues to trust them. That's just, it sucks that way. I just saw AHH do exactly that. They played the audio of the spirit box. Just teasing you. Oh, shh. I enjoy having people talk with me, but I really enjoy just yapping sometimes too. Especially when I got something on the mind. I can focus better sometimes when I don't have all the other voices in my head. They're fun to have because it's better than just all my personalities. But sometimes it's nice just to have my personalities. Who is AHH? Just where is tonight? I need a life. Sorry, next. Adelaide Haunted Horizons, huh? I think I remember them, yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah. They're the ones that had an issue with Seg at one point in time, right? They kind of made up and all that stuff. Then they were good friends, did a collabs and stuff together. Those are the ones, right? I think. Kag and Allison. I prefer calling them. Yeah, okay. I think just sounds better. They should make that their new theme song for Spaghetti Paranormales things. You don't know the insane auntie's shocked face? No, I do. I just didn't recall the name. But you see, I know that they're part of the Spaghetti Paranormales wrestling thing. The pasta pervert. Oh, yes. I know things. Do I remember them all? No, that's I hold way too much shit up here. I just let you inside. Don't whine to go back out. Yeah, they're friends with Seg, yeah. They just give them goof, I think. Now I'm getting notifications. Why am I getting notifications? I don't want to know. Go away. Be gone, Satans. Oh, Easy Quiet went live. Good on them. Good on them. Got them by the balls. Nice. Thunder. There we go. They're good people. I don't care how legit their methods are. They are fun to watch and also loads of interesting history. Okay. Which, if they're providing value to you, cool, go for it. See, that's my other thing, right? If they provide value and they entertain you, that's awesome. No fucking qualms. No problems. If they do things that match certain other organizations or groups that are constantly torn apart by the debunking community, maybe, just a maybe, they should be looked at a little bit. Or a standard should be put in place. That's just it. Like, just try things, see what happens. I'm all for that. That's why I tried the Ghost Tube. I've tried the phone apps once before. I want to try these other things because you don't know if you do not try them. But if it is something that is constantly being used and tried over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, and it has basically proven to be lacking in the proper procedures department, maybe put it to the side. I don't know enough about them. I don't watch their stuff, so they don't do that stuff that I've ever seen. Okay. I don't know enough about them. Any data is better than no data. That's very true. That's kind of why I want to have anemometers, and I want to have barometers, and I want to have data loggers to obtain proper data, along with looking at phases of the moon cycles along with that, because maybe if you are a part of the healthcare field, you understand that individuals in the, that are put into the homes tend to get a little bit more wild during the full moon and the new moon. It becomes a thing. So maybe if paranormal activity seems to ramp up during a full moon and or a new moon, that would be something we should look into and, maybe test out more often. Things happen too randomly to get evidence on any given investigation. That's why you have to control as many variables as you can. You can't control everything, that's physically impossible. But there are certain things you can control to help cross off possibilities, right? That's kind of what I want to do, is I want to cross off the potential possibilities, because that's how you find your answer, your solution. You can't chuck out everything completely, because again, it is physically impossible to do so. I don't think things are random per se. They can be calculated, they can be, monitored. Why are you crying over there? No, I just let you inside. You came in of your own free will. You're not going back out right now. It's going to rain. Cats make no sense. But to give others validity of their claims, or to make skeptics become more believers, right? Or to actually find potential real evidence, we have to create, as he said, a baseline, which means you have to do things to get rid of some of the quote-unquote randomness that happens. Like with the random EMF spikes and stuff, if our investigators are carrying these around, even if they're on airplane mode, these are still giving off EMF. The lighting, depending on what type of lights they are going to give off EMF. If you can actually have the ability to shut the power down to a certain area in a location, should do that. If it's an abandoned building that shouldn't have any power going to it at all, unless they're using it for utility purposes, which you can find that out because you can ask your local governing head. But not everything can be figured out. Not everything can be tossed away. Not everything can be blocked, can be cataloged, completely. It can't. But we can do a lot. We can do a lot more than has ever been done. And you can still have fun with it. Because even if you're just sitting around with the other investigators and you have these things going on in certain locations, like if you're using my hotel bell idea where it's literally you have to physically ting, ting to activate it, not having it run off EMF, which we have no actual physical proof in any way, shape, or form that spirits project EMF. That is literally just a theory that we've ran with for 2 decades now, maybe a little bit more. You guys can have that bell in the middle of the room and no one can touch it, and it might not ever go off. But if it were to ever go off, physical manipulation by something not in that physical space with you is basically what's going on. It is in another reality, basically. That would be the most life-changing event for some people you may ever encounter, from a very simple thing. Getting away from looking for EMF spikes to having something that can be physically manipulated. I say physically because there's no other way to describe it. If you're looking for voices, you have to look into the location and say how much noise pollution is there. If you're investigating at a place that is on the high street, right, in the UK, or in a busy college town, right, there's a high chance of noise pollution. Then you have to sit and you got to listen to the phrasing to see what's going on. If you hear, "Damn, boy, that shit was lit tonight," it's probably not a fucking spirit. It's probably a drunk guy. You know what I mean? Sylvester, would you stop? He's just back there just chirping at me. It's raining right now. You don't want to go outside. I promise you don't. But no, Leanne, I completely agree. There's going to be some randomness to it. You can't stop everything, but we should be able to break it down more than what it's being broke down as. Because some things we can completely remove from the field. You want to test new things? Test new things. but don't rely on one single form. We can't solely rely on EMF. We can't solely rely on audio. We can't solely rely on visual. We have to have other means, and everyone's relying on EMF right now. The cat balls are EMF. The Boo Buddies are EMF. The motion sensors can be disrupted by EMF. REM pods, EMF. Phone app, EMF. EMF detectors, EMF. We gotta do something somewhere. This is why I'm not part of the paranormal community. Because I want to use too much science. I want to break shit down more. I'm done. I promise. I'm done. So, what's on your guys' mind? Any other thoughts? Thoughts, feelings, conjectures? God damn it. Sylvester! Fine, I'll throw you back out. What the EMF goes is that we would never know if there was something with the EMF meters. True. I'm eating tofu. It's delicious. Last time I had tofu was many, many, many years ago. Mr. Prism, I hope you get some damn good sleep for, you made me sticky yet again. Or sorry, you didn't make me sick this time. You're the sticky one. Aimed at a specific spot where I've seen a full body apparition twice. So if I had a time-lapse camera set up to run continuously for like months, aimed at a specific spot where I've seen a full body apparition twice, then there would be the potential chance of you maybe seeing it again somewhere and then being able to determine if it is a coincidence or not. Almost typing my eyelids at this point. Go to bed! Leanne is 100% sticky. And, of course, Jesse's thinking about Elfin. That doesn't surprise me in the slightest. Always gotta go for the fictional one. Pumfu. Pumfu and tofu. Sounds like great names for D&D characters. Pumpkin seed tofu. I'm not a pumpkin fan, so I will definitely pass on that one. I don't like pumpkin. Nah. Nah. It's got a great name, though, but yeah. Beef. So what's for dinner? Thought tofu was strictly soybeans. It damn near used to be, for sure. I remember my family got like tofurkey like stuff. It wasn't turkey flavored tofu is basically what it was supposed to be. No, not happy. However, I suppose I did stream a bit longer than I thought I was going to. and I've had a long day. I think I'm gonna call it an evening. And wish you wonderful, lovely folks a good night as well. Thank you for listening to me yap or ramble on. But maybe we made some intellectual progress here. Yes. Keep an eye out for J-Cart's video, our collaboration video, coming out hopefully sometime tomorrow. And then, like I said, on Monday, we'll be doing the food drive stuff for 10 days. And I will be having the unedited, unfiltered collaboration video that I have with J-Cart tonight. So, good night, everyone. Good night. Go get some sleep. And I will see you all again